Hi and welcome to John's Maths Book. In this video, we'll be exploring another key concept in mathematics. If you find this tutorial helpful, then please show your support by subscribing, liking, and leaving a comment. Your positive engagement helps me create more content and allows me to bring you more valuable maths lessons. Without further ado, let's go over to the whiteboard. Let's use triple integrals and spherical coordinates to find the volume of a cone. I appreciate there are other simpler ways of doing this, like using a formula. However, this example serves to demonstrate the techniques and steps of using spherical coordinates and triple integration. For more complicated examples, you'll need to use these techniques, as there will be no simple formula. In this example, the cone has equation z equals the square root of x squared plus y squared in Cartesian form and is bounded by the plane where z is equal to 3. Let's take a look at the cone in 3D form using a graphing tool. So this is the cone, and as you can see, its apex is on the xy plane, and we're going to find its volume when bounded by the plane where z is equal to 3. Our first step in the process of finding the volume of the cone is to convert the Cartesian equations into spherical coordinates. So we need to convert all the x's, y's and z's into rho, phi and theta. And to do this, we're going to make a substitution. So we're going to let z equal rho cos phi, x equal rho sin phi cos theta, and y equal rho sin phi sin theta. And so beginning with the equation of the cone where z is equal to the square root of x squared plus y squared, after making the substitution we have rho cos phi is equal to the square root of rho squared sin squared phi into the bracket of cos squared theta plus sin squared theta. If we now use the trig identity where cos squared theta plus sin squared theta is equal to 1 and take the square root, we're left with rho cos phi is equal to rho sin phi. If we simplify this, we get sin phi divided by cos phi is equal to 1. Now sin phi divided by cos phi is equal to tan phi, which is equal to 1. And therefore phi is equal to pi by 4. We now need to do the same thing for the plane where z is equal to 3. And so making the substitution for z, we have rho multiplied by cos phi is equal to 3. And simplifying this gives rho equals 3 divided by cos phi. To find the volume, we need to integrate over the region, which we'll call E, and some infinitesimally small pieces of volume shown here as dv. We need to unpack this and define our region using spherical coordinates. This will give us our limits of integration for rho, theta and phi, and then look at what dv equates to in this context. Let's begin by finding the limits of integration for rho. To help us understand the region, this diagram is a view along the z-axis from the xy plane. In spherical coordinates, rho is the radial distance from the origin to a point in space and represents the length of the line connecting the origin to the point. So rho is always greater than or equal to 0. So in our example, rho starts at the origin where it's equal to 0. And its endpoint is governed by the plane where z equals 3. And in spherical coordinates, this is rho equals 3 divided by the cosine of phi. And these represent the upper and lower limits of integration for rho. Next, let's look at the limits of integration for phi. Phi is the angle measured from the positive z-axis to the line segment connecting a point in the 3D space. We know that phi must be greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 180 degrees or pi radians. And so in our case, phi begins at 0 and ends where it meets the cone. So where phi equals pi by 4 radians, which is the cone when converted to spherical coordinates. And so the limits of integration for phi are from 0 to pi by 4. And to find the limits of integration for theta, let's use this diagram, which looks down the z-axis onto the xy plane. And this shows a shadow cast by the base of the cone forming a circle. In spherical coordinates, theta represents the angle of rotation in the xy plane around this circular shape and is measured from the positive x-axis in a counterclockwise direction. So in this example, theta begins at 0 and goes full circle, which equates to 2 pi radians or 360 degrees. And so the lower limit of integration for theta is 0 and the upper limit of integration is 2 pi radians. So now we've defined our region using the limits of integration. Let's unpack what we're integrating. So in our case, dv. dv represents infinitesimally small pieces of volume, and we are using triple integrals to sum each of these to get the total volume. Let's look at the dimensions of one of these. So if we look at the red shaded region, this represents dv and is an infinitesimally small piece of volume. We could think of this as a tiny rectangular box where the volume is given by the length multiplied by the width multiplied by the height. So let's apply this volume formula to the red shaded region. We can see that the height dimension, circled here, is along the radial distance ρ, and is represented by an infinitesimally small piece of ρ, which we call d ρ. If we extend lines down from the rectangular box, we see that the width dimension of the box, circled here, also lies parallel to the xy plane, circled here, and is the arc of a circle where the radius of the circle we saw was r when using cylindrical coordinates. We also saw that r translated to ρ sine phi when using spherical coordinates. The width dimension is therefore the arc length of a circle, which we know is the radius of the circle, in this case ρ sine phi, multiplied by the central angle, which is infinitesimally small, and in this case is d theta. And the length dimension of the rectangular box, circled here, lies along the arc of a circle, and this dimension is calculated by multiplying the radius of this circle, which we know is ρ, by the central angle, which is infinitesimally small, and in this case d phi. So the length dimension is ρ multiplied by d phi. If we multiply these dimensions together, we see that dv is equal to ρ squared multiplied by the sine of phi, d ρ, d phi, d theta. And we sum all these infinitesimally small pieces of volume using triple integrals to get the total volume. So we now have our triple integral where we're integrating ρ squared sine phi d ρ d phi d theta. So let's begin the evaluation process, starting with the inner integral for ρ. So we're integrating from ρ equals 0 to ρ equals 3 divided by cos phi, ρ squared sine phi d ρ. And using the power rule to evaluate this, we have ρ cubed divided by 3 multiplied by sine phi. And if we plug in the limits of integration, we have 9 multiplied by sine phi divided by cos cubed phi minus 0. And simplifying this gives us 9 multiplied by tan phi divided by cos squared phi, which is equal to 9 multiplied by tan phi multiplied by secant squared phi. And for the middle integral, we want to integrate from phi equals 0 to phi equals pi by 4, 9 multiplied by tan phi secant squared phi d phi. And to integrate this, we're going to make a substitution. We're going to let u equal tan phi. So du by d phi is equal to secant squared phi. Therefore, du is equal to secant squared phi d phi. If we now make the substitution with u and du and change the limits of integration based on u equals tan phi, we get the integral from u equals 0 to u equals 1, 9u du. And using the power rule, this evaluates to 9u squared divided by 2. And plugging in the limits of integration, we have 9 divided by 2 minus 0, which equals 9 divided by 2. For the outer integral, we want to integrate from theta equals 0 to theta equals 2 pi 9 over 2 d theta. Using the power rule, this equates to 9 over 2 theta, and plugging in the limits of integration, we have 18 pi by 2 minus 0, and this gives us the volume of our cone, which is 9 pi cubic units.